In our last video, we discovered that the standard mark or sign of ancient Rome was the eagle. Today, ancient Rome is no more, and papal Rome rules. But what is their mark, sign, or standard today? The book of Revelation reads, "And he, the papacy, calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark, sign, or standard in their right hand or in their forehead, and that no man might buy or sell save he that have the mark, sign, or standard of the beast, or the number of his name." In the book of Daniel it reads, "Thus he said, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon the earth." Therefore we can conclude that this fourth kingdom, which is Rome, under the guise of the papacy, will cause all to receive his mark, sign, or standard, either in their right hand or in their forehead. And anyone who does not receive this mark will not be able to buy or sell. So my question is the papacy's sign, standard, or mark the golden eagle? Or is it something else? Before we seek to discover what the standard of the papacy is, it should be noted based on the book of Revelation that he calls it all to receive this standard, sign, or mark. If all are to receive this mark, then how does he accomplish this? To get a glimpse of how the papacy will accomplish this, we would look at The Economist, a magazine, which was published in 2019. The magazine was founded by James Wilson, and soon after it was owned by its shareholders, Cadbury, Schroeder, and most notably the Agnelli family and the Rothschild dynasty. Business elitist. The main focus of this magazine is to deal with current affairs, international business, politics, and technology. But as we consider the cover of this 2019 issue, it may seem confusing, but amidst all the confusion lies a multiplicity of hidden messages that will help us discover how the whole world will receive the standard, sign, or mark of the beast. Now, as we consider the magazine's cover, there is one figure that is most noticeable. This is a recreation of Da Vinci's Vitruvian Man. And in the hand of the Vitruvian Man is something interesting. There is a baseball, a cannabis leaf, a cell phone-like device with a QR code. Upon the face of the Victorian man is a glasses that looks similar to a VR lens or a virtual reality lens. On the arm of the Victorian man is a DNA strand. We also see balances in the Vitruvian man's hand. And lastly, upon the chest of the Victorian man, over his heart, is written #MeToo. So what does all of this mean? Before we can gain that knowledge, we must first look at Da Vinci's Vitruvian Man. Leonardo da Vinci's Vitruvian Man was in response to a challenge by Marco Vitruvius, an ancient architect and soldier who worked closely with the Caesars. The challenge that Vitruvius set was to have a man on his back with his arms outstretched and have his fingers and toes touch the circumference of a circle, using the man's navel as the center, and then to have that same figure placed into a square. This challenge posed a problem. How do you take the area of a circle and create a square with equal area? This problem was called squaring a circle, and due to the nature of pi, it is an impossible equation to solve. But Da Vinci understood by changing the position of man, he can fill both the area of a circle and a square. And in solving this geometric problem, Da Vinci also gave credence to Neoplatonism. Neoplatonism claims that in the great chain of being, man is at the center, with God at the top and animals and demons to the bottom. And it is up to man to climb either up or down this chain. So based on Da Vinci's Vitruvian Man, man has the ability to choose either to move up or down the chain. With this knowledge, we can now decipher what The Economist desires to portray. In The Economist's portrayal of Da Vinci's Vitruvian Man, the circle is represented by the earth with its various components. Therefore, in order to square the circle, the position of man must be changed. And this position is changed by that which the Vitruvian Man has in his hands. In recent years, there has been a push for the legalization of cannabis, and in some countries, it has already been decriminalized.
I want to know how likely a cannabis smoker is to experience conditions like psychosis, and what part the drug has to play. Celia Morgan, a psychopharmacologist whose research links between cannabis and mental health, has agreed to talk me through it.
What is the percentage of people that are more likely to develop psychosis?
So smoking cannabis contributes to psychosis, and people suggest that it might bring the onset on, it might bring it on a bit earlier. Amongst heavy smokers, it roughly doubles your risk of developing it.
Yeah.
But actually so many other factors are really important in developing it. One of the most important we know is stress, and things like social deprivation, which are much more key to whether you develop it or not.
Stress and social deprivation go hand
in hand, yeah.
But environment and smoking weed definitely are two contributors, and it's not just a case of weed being the sole cause of the psychosis.
No, but the plant is a very complicated thing that has all of these different chemicals in it. And the tinkering that we've been doing with weeds is making it a more dangerous substance. So we need to do a lot more work, I think, to understand exactly how vulnerability interacts with your environment and smoking weed to develop psychosis.
Both Microsoft and Sony are planning to launch their game consoles later this year, and we just might see the re-emergence of VR.
Good morning and welcome back. Well, it's becoming one of those seemingly popular holiday presents, at least we're seeing it advertised a lot, those VR, virtual reality goggle headsets. And joining us this morning from Gunderson Health System is Gunderson ophthalmologist Dr. Paul Cook to talk about some of the potential dangers of these VR goggles. Dr. Cook, thanks for waking up with us.
No problem. Thanks for having me on.
So I guess, just starting with the basics, what happens to your eyes when you isolate them like that with a screen right in front of your face?
Well, the most common thing that we hear about is basically these goggles can actually make you feel nauseated and dizzy and pretty sick. That's because you're immersing your eyes and your visual system in a complete virtual reality and three-dimensional environment. And that environment doesn't really square with the senses you're getting from your other organs in your body, such as your inner ear.
Okay, so visually it's kind of confusing. I mean, psychologically, neurologically, is it affecting our brains in any way?
Well, they don't. There's some research on that, but only in animals, and it does show that the brain is affected by the virtual reality experience, in the sense that some of the neurons in your brain may actually shut down because of the cross-circuiting effect of your visual experience not matching what your body is feeling.
Now we have the cell phone.
Did you know that 80% of children check their phones every 5 minutes? Crazy, right? Hi everyone, my name is Tanner Welton, and today I'm going to be talking to you about cell phone addiction. Now, I may have an addiction myself, but that doesn't mean I can't talk about it. In fact, who knows it better than me? There are many people with addictions to different things, but in my opinion, cell phone addiction is a #1 worry. Now hold on a second. I'm sure many of you are thinking that that's not me. I'm not addicted. Now take a second to think about how many times a day you use your phone or just check your phone. What happens to you when you lose your phone? Are you calm and settled, or do you freak out? There are actually people who have a panic attack. It's called nomophobia, or as I personally like to call it, nophonobia. It is when you panic if you don't have your phone in your pocket or you can't find it. I've seen this happen on many occasions in our house. Now, the big question is, why are people so addicted? Well, here's my answer. Take social media for an example. Every single time you post a photo, let's say in the matter of 10 seconds, you get 4 likes. Well, those 4 likes may be small, but it affects your mind in a huge way. Those 10 seconds of happiness sends a message to your brain saying, I want more. So then you post another photo, and another photo, just to see how many likes you get. Now you are spending every 5 minutes of your day checking to see if someone liked your photo, even if that someone is from across the world and you've never met them before. That sounds like a pretty big waste of a day to me.
Again, we have sports as a form of entertainment.
According to a 2016 survey, over 90% of millennials and 88% of those in the Gen Z category have engaged in binge watching a TV series.
And according to Netflix, their users are streaming over 140 million hours worth of content a day.
So why is it that we would rather spend an entire day on our couch, drowning in takeout with the blinds down, watching the new season of Stranger Things in one sitting, over walking the dog or doing the laundry or seeing other human beings? Well, it's because binge watching has essentially made you an addict. And I know that sounds like a stretch, but it's kind of true.
Your heart races and your cheeks begin to flush. As you anticipate the surge of energy this win will bring, you move to the edge of your seat. You can't get enough. So why are we so passionately involved or obsessed with sports? Hormones control the way we feel and are stimulated by every action we take. Hugging a friend releases oxytocin, making you feel calm, while cramming for an exam releases cortisol, leading to irritability, but also alertness. Simply watching sports stimulates hormone levels as well. Testosterone.
Again, we see the scales of justice, and these scales seem to be quite imbalanced in favor of the majority. And upon the chest is the word #MeToo. YourDictionary.com purports this to mean relating to the adoption or imitation of another person's view or policies. Could it be that there is an agenda to dumb down society in order for us to accept the views and policies of those that rule the world? And could this be the means by which man moves down the chain of beings as purported by Neoplatonism? And when this happens, man will easily accept the mark, sign, or standard of the beast. Therefore, the Bible alludes to the fact that all those who refuse to receive the mark of the beast will not be able to buy or sell. The question may be asked, how can governments restrict the buying and selling power of individuals?
Since the start of the space age, more than 8,800 objects have been launched into Earth's orbit. But in a few years, that number could increase significantly. Private companies plan to launch tens of thousands of satellites into space to beam internet to customers on Earth.